I actually think before we get into how you get them out of you, can you just do a run through of best tactics for avoidance? Like super simple. This is what we know. I know it's going to be imperfect. I know that everybody with health anxiety is just their heart rate's, 20% higher than it should be. What's the 80-20 on avoiding plastics in consumption?
I do. I think there's imperfect avoidance, right? You're not going to avoid it 100%. But I think I would say the top things to consider and try to implement in your life would be, one, get a high quality reverse osmosis filter, whether it's countertop or whole house system. That's first and foremost. Number two, avoid drinking as much as possible out of plastic bottles. Also, cans are lined with plastic lining as well. So consider that as well. Number three, avoid heating plastic. So really, like the to-go coffee mugs is a big one. Bring your own, mug like this here, Yeti. I bring Yetis I bring them when I travel, and I ask them can you put my latte in this mug? And they do it.
I just had an idea there. So I've become addicted, keep where you are, but I've become addicted to Dutch Bros coffee, and I kind of need to tell the internet about it. It's phenomenal. I wonder if there is a way. I was watching them make it, because when you go through the drive-thru, you can actually see the process of them going through it. A lot of the time when they make an iced coffee, an iced latte, they're pouring it between almost what looks like a cocktailier's shaker, the steel thing, pouring it between that and pouring it between your cup. I haven't done this yet, but one of the things that I thought about, because the cup is typically filled with the ice, then they pour the hot liquid over the ice, and that's what cools it. I was like, if I said, rather than you pouring it from the steel thing into the plastic, could I just get you to do two steel things side by side, put the ice in that one, cool it down, and then pop it into the plastic thing for me? Obviously, the gold standard would be to take your own cup. But if you would say that you don't have that, I also have to assume that iced drinks are going to be better, even if you get a splash of hot hitting the cup that you can't get them to do some fancy cocktail trick with. It's going to cool it down more quickly, so it's not going to liberate for as long, to as small.
Exactly. And if you think about it, if you're getting an iced cup of fill in the blank, that's plastic, the beverage isn't in that cup for that long, right? So the breakdown, it's not really
as
happening.
Opposed to you waiting for 20 minutes for it to become a consumable temperature.
Yeah, or as opposed to like bottled water, like you said, it's like, how long has it been in there, and the heat it's been in, how many trucks has it been on, and warehouses has it, gone through before it's been in that refrigerator that you think is cold. So, and I do want to mention another thing with coffee, but I'll get back to the imperfect avoidance.
So we've got reverse osmosis, not drinking tap water. Second up is avoiding bottled water. Third one is avoiding heating plastic, which would include Tupperware, reheating meals, meal prep companies, stuff like that, I'm going to guess.
Yes, yeah, all that, because that's, they're putting a lot of stuff in plastic, right? And then I did mention like canned soup is really bad, because it's in a can that's lined with BPA, and the soup goes in hot. It goes in hot.
Oh, when they fill it?
Yeah. So there've been studies that have compared people that get canned soup to like soup made in glass.
Okay.
And it increases like urinary BPA by 1,000%, which is insanely high.
Do you know what the inside of Tetra Paks are like? Those sort of more carton things? Do you know what I mean by Tetra Pak?
I don't know what's in it, but I'll tell you this, and this is what I was going to get back
Probably
to.
fucking BPA.
There's something called polylactic acid that you can line. I think you can line cans with it. I know you can line to-go coffee mugs. Like I know Blue Bottle Coffee lines it with polylactic acid rather than like BPA plastic. So polylactic acid, why not replace this plastic lining?
That's not liberated in the same way. Wouldn't impact us.
It's an organic. It's not plastic. Polylactic acid. It's like an organic compound.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you just have to make sure that with anything, sometimes companies will mix a little plastic in there, and you never really know, right? Like that's always
the supply chain of your plastic, let alone your food.
But let's just assume that everyone's like,
fair.
credible and doing the right thing. Yeah, polylactic acid. I don't know why like Starbucks and all these companies and cans, everything should be lined with it, because it's it's healthy. It's a healthier option.
I'm going to look into that for Newtonic. Okay, so what's next up after this? Soup, heating stuff, Tupperware. I mean, dear God, please just replace all of your Tupperware with glass.
Exactly. And also your utensils. Like don't use spatulas that are made of plastic.
Wood?
Wood is fine. Yeah, wood. Also Teflon, like pans and
Coatings.
stuff, coating. Like you want to have stainless steel, or you want to do cast iron or ceramic, right? Like you don't want things that are coated, because like you just never know what's in that coating.
I saw a comparison image on Twitter of one of those, the non-stick pans, but one of those that's you've used for 2.5 years and it's got loads of scratches in it, and that causes all hell to break loose and be liberated into the food.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the scratches. Like that stuff is going somewhere. Like where's it going? Right?
In you.
It's going
It's
into
in
your
you.
food.
It's
Right.
in you,
It's
is what it
going
is.
into you. So that's another. Heat is a really big one, and also microwave popcorn. So the inside of bags, the inside of the bags of microwave popcorn are lined with forever chemicals. Forever chemicals, they're called that, PFAS, because it takes our body like 2 to 5 years to get rid of them, and they are carcinogens. They're terrible, and you're heating it up, right? The popcorn's heating up, so popcorn bags is another one. But I think in terms of that, and then with respect to like the foods, obviously, like if you can, like shrimp, eating whole sardines, anything like microplastics are in the digestive tract of those foods. So like limiting, you just don't want to eat shrimp like every day.
What are capsules, 000 capsules for supplements? What's that made of?
What are those?
Like a capsule, like
like magnesium stearate,
like any type of creatine capsule or something where it's in it's capsulated as opposed to just
gelatin.
a raw tablet. Is that what it is? Is it gelatin typically?
It's usually not plastic.
I was just looking at it and thinking, I bet that someone somewhere has realized that we can make it 50% cheaper if we use some sort of, but it's typically going to be like a gelatin thing.
Usually a high quality supplement would be, I haven't seen the plastic ones, but I don't go around to the.
Well, that's the first place that I've identified that doesn't have plastics in so far, so I can breathe a sigh of relief around all of the tablets that I take every day.
I think if you're doing those things, though, that's like the majority of trying to decrease your exposure, and then
from the dryer,
right, and then have a HEPA filter in your house. Like
what do you like to use?
I mean, you can use like there's a lot of different. There's like high quality medical grade ones that are a little more expensive, which are great. But for people that are just like say they live in a condo or like they have a small flat or something, even getting like a Honeywell HEPA filter, like for each room, they're really not that expensive, and they do filter out a lot of particulate matter that you're breathing in, including microplastics. So I mean, that's a pretty, I think, feasible option for
good
people.
Start on a endlessly comprehensive list.